Well, it's been a great experience. I first came to Kansas City back in the 2000 season, where we won our championship. That year specifically was a great introduction to my career here in Kansas City. I was really happy to be a part of that team. When I first came here, I thought I'd be here for a couple of years, and as it turns out, 9 years later, I'm still here, part of the team in which we've gone under a lot of changes, both on and off the field. So to be part of this organization for that long is definitely a proud accomplishment for me. Well, both the organization and the league has changed a lot since my first year as a part of it. In terms specifically of Kansas City, we've slowly progressed with the building of a new stadium, with the new ownership group who's been very aggressive in putting their stamp on the team. We have a new coaching staff in which we changed over 2 years ago. And it just seems to be going into a more professional, a more aggressive kind of mindset, and that's something to be proud of as we go forward into this league. Yeah, it's been a little difficult for us, and as a team, when you're not having the success in front of the goal as you would like, you tend to, I guess, be a lot more critical of the things that you're doing. There's a lot of positives that are coming out of this, despite the fact that we're not scoring goals. But I think we've started to address some of the problems, and that's getting more players into the attack, and not trying to play only possession-style soccer, but being effective and being dangerous in the attack. And by getting more numbers in the box, by getting our crosses a little bit better, hopefully those chances are going to come, and the opportunities are going to present themselves, and we're going to capitalize. It happens every year with every team. Going back to the 2000 year, we went through a stretch in the summer months where we didn't have a win for 5 or 6 games, yet ended up with the best record in the league. So it happens to every team. Right now we're in a difficult stretch, and that's come a little bit sooner than it has in the past. These Kansas City teams that I've played on typically have struggled in the months of July and August. Our struggling months have been in May and June, and it's not really. The fact that we're in the struggling part of the season right now, it's how we get out of it, and maintaining a positive approach to training, trying to correct the things that you don't do well in the games, or some of the things that can help you get out of it. And sometimes all it takes is a goal to get you out of that spell. How I proposed. Well, I'd been dating my now fiance for a while. I'd come back from Argentina and not given her an exact time or date in which we were returning, and kind of surprised her that way. She knew it was coming, but the element of surprise is always, you always try to make it a bit of a surprise. I was recruited more heavily for football than I was soccer at the time. The thing that changed my mind was I went down to the under-20 national team camp back in 92, 91, 92, and being selected for the under-20 national team allowed me to take part in the under-20 World Cup, and that was my freshman year of college, in which it was still a decision whether I was going to play football or soccer. And having had that experience with the under-20 team, kind of pushed in the direction of soccer, and I'm glad I made that decision. It's turned out in a very positive way for me. Yeah, from a personal standpoint, we needed to get a result in our third game against South Korea, and with 10 minutes to go, we were down. I believe it was 2-1, and I happened to score the goal that got us into the next round, and that was one of the most exciting moments that I've had, certainly personally, in my career. Well, I started playing when I was 5 years old. My dad got me involved in the game, and at that point, growing up in a suburb of Detroit, Michigan, it was not as popular as it is now. Kids had played it, but it was more of a recreation sport than it was a path to a career. So, I spent a lot of time playing the game. I loved playing, and spent a lot of time in my backyard playing just knocking the ball with my dad back and forth, and that's how I improved as a player. And as I grew up through the ranks and went on to college, it turned out to be an option of going to play professionally since we got the MLS in 1996. So it wasn't something that I had planned on, but it was something I certainly enjoyed. And in order to get to this level, you have to enjoy it first. Well, since I've always loved the game so much, I would have become a coach much earlier in my life. Coming out of college, I knew that I wanted to play. There were moments that I considered quitting the game, but I definitely knew that I wanted to play and take it to the highest level that I could. And if I wouldn't have made it into the Major League Soccer, I definitely would have become a coach much earlier. Yeah, I've always been passionate about the game, more so than obviously playing only takes up a certain part of your career as a professional. So going into coaching is something I've always thought about. As a player, I've always looked at the game from a coach's perspective, or at least tried to, and I've learned from every coach that I've had. So it's only natural for me that I would go into coaching after this. My passion is in the professional game. I love the details that are required in the professional game, and that's something that I would like to aspire to. Whether it be here or any other place, it's Major League Soccer is a place that I would like to be, if not higher up the ranks. Well, it's in terms of a leadership position, it's something that people do it in different ways. Some people are very vocal off the field and rally the troops that way. I've always been a player that has said very little off the field in the locker room, but once we get on the field, I've had the ability to organize the group. And the best advice I can give is to be yourself and to really try to be positive, whether it's on the field or off the field, and try to lead that way. But at the end of the day, everybody has their own personality, everybody has their own style, and just I would recommend be yourself. Funny question. One, I don't consider myself very good looking. Two, I'd have to give it all the credit to my mom and dad.